Hello everyone, today I'm going to do something useful. I'm going to do a video showing how to set up from scratch, completely from scratch, how to set up Minecraft servers. I'm going to show it on the three obviously major operating systems, Windows, OS X and Linux. There's going to be separate sections for each of those, along with how to do configuration afterwards. It's going to go right from downloading the jar file or exe file right through to having a whitelisted server with admin rights and all that malarkey. So yeah, I should have on the screen about now the time credits for when the different sections are going to happen, because obviously if you're only setting up a server on OS X, you don't want to sit through the bits on Windows and Linux, for example. So yeah, let's get started with how to set up a Windows server. Okay, so first let's see how to set up a Minecraft server in Windows. Windows is actually pretty easy to do. Bring up your web browser of choice, go to minecraft.net, and down here you want the download button. So we'll go to this. Now this is where you download Minecraft itself for playing it, but if you scroll down a bit we can see the server software. Okay, now basically all we want is here, if you run Windows, just want to set up a server, easily download Minecraft server. That's what we want. So we'll right click, save link as. Here we go. And we're just gonna make, I mean it doesn't matter where you put it as long as it's good for you, but I'm just gonna go to my desktop, make a folder called Minecraft server and save it in here. So Minecraft server.exe, just rename that. Okay, right, and there we go, that's done. So now if I open up this folder, we have here, it's on my other screen for some reason, the Minecraft server. So we'll run that, just double click. Yep, we want to run that, and we'll see this come up. You can do it by the command line if you get the jar file, but this is fine. And here we go, and at the moment it's generating a level, so we'll just do a quick jump cut while it does that. Okay, so the map has now generated, and that's pretty much it. You can see here, you can see the memory used. That's a nice T, you don't really get on the other versions because it's just done on a command line. But yeah, that's running, so if we just minimize that, and you can see all of the different files are there that get generated. And if I try and connect to a local host, I will get, actually let's bring that other window back up so you can see me logging in. There we go. And you can see me now in the game world as soon as it finishes loading, because obviously it's recording and serving and doing everything at once, as I always complain when I do these videos, so it's a bit slow, in fact very slow. But yeah, here we go, I'm on the Minecraft server. And that's how to set up a Minecraft server in Windows, the basics. Okay, so here's how to set up a server on OS X. Here's the Minecraft website, you know the URL. The download link, same place on Windows, it's over to the right, and scroll down, but not going to be downloading the exe file this time. Because as it says there, we're going to be running it on another OS, so we're actually going to be using the jar itself, and that means it's a bit more involved. Now one thing I should say is if you have problems, make sure you've actually got Java installed, because if you haven't, same as on Linux, it's not going to work. It needs Java. We're going to be working through the command line a lot here, so I'm just getting that open ready. And let's download the jar. Now you need to have somewhere to put it, obviously. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I can remember how to get to the desktop on OS X, because it's not quite the same as Windows, you can't just go backwards through the folder tree, and we've gone to desktop. I'm going to make a new folder, Minecraft server. Actually I made a mistake here, and I advise not putting spaces in the names of your folders on OS X or Linux. It just makes it a bit more awkward later. So here we've got the jar in the folder. Just going back to the page, because we're going to need that link, that bit of text there. At the moment, if we type that into the terminal, which is, sorry, I forgot, first we've got to go into the folder, so we're going to the desktop folder, and then into the Minecraft server folder, and you can see I've got the file there. Oh, can't rename it. Oh, of course we move, don't we? So we're going to move, basically rename the file to get rid of that one bit at the end. So it's just Minecraft server.jar, which is what it should be. And then if we type in that command, as so, and run it, and here we go, the server is starting up for the first time. I'm actually going to cut a bit here because it is going to take quite a while to generate the map. Okay, so here we go. Map generation's almost completed. As you can see, I've got Minecraft open. It's already ready to run on localhost, and there we go, servers up. So let's connect, just check it's all running. And there you go, you can see me connecting, my username, and here we are in the game. Oh, starting underwater, not very good, let's get out of there. So not much to say here, the server is running. But the issue now, of course, is that we don't really want to be bringing up the terminal and typing in that big long command every single time. So I'm going to do, after a jump cut, do a bit of here's what I made earlier. I've made a file in there now called startserver.sh, which if I run, starts the Minecraft server. Basically just make a plain text file and for the moment keep it empty. Just make it, put it there, something.sh, I've gone with start server. Open up the info and make sure it's set to open with the terminal because it's a set of terminal commands. It's a batch process, a shell script. Then what we want to do is open up a new terminal window or just a first terminal window. It's just in this case I was already running Minecraft on one. Go to the folder containing the startserver.sh file and put in this command chmod +x and then the file name, and that tells computer it's now an executable file, that you can run it by double clicking. But that's not all we've got to do. We're going to open it up. You can use a text editor, but I prefer Bean, basically any plain text editing software. And basically all we've got to do is put 2 lines in there. The first one is cd and then the name of the folder, the complete folder, so that you go into that folder. And the second line was the Java blah blah command from the Minecraft website. And what this does is it tells it go to that folder and then run that jar. So then when you double click on it, because we've set it as executable and told it to run in terminal, there you go, it runs. So that's all there is to a server on the OS X. Next, let's look at Linux. Okay, now I'm going to go through how to set up a server in Linux. I'm going to try and do it in as generic a way as possible. This is going to be quite command line heavy by necessity, so if you're not really comfortable with the Linux command line, sorry, this might not be very good for you. I'm also going to have to cheat a bit because I haven't got screen capture software on the netbook that I'm using for my Linux server. I'm going to have to log in remotely, and that means part of it, which you're probably going to want to do just with the normal GUI in Linux, you're just going to have to use your imagination a little bit, basically. Right, the first step, as usual, is to get the jar file, same as on OS X. So you want to go to the Minecraft.net website, download, and down here in the multiplayer beta server software, you don't want this exe, that's just for Windows. You're going to want this, the Minecraft server jar. So you want to save that to whichever folder you're going to be holding your server in on Linux. Now, as I said, I'm on my Windows PC here. I'm just recording this, my login to the Linux PC. So open up a terminal in Linux, it will look like this. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to make a folder. If I can remember how, I'm just going to call it MC test for Minecraft test, but you'd call it Minecraft server or whatever. Okay. And as I said, in that you would put your Minecraft jar file that we just downloaded from website, but obviously I can't do that directly, so I'm going to cheat a bit, and I'm going to copy it from one of my existing Minecraft folders. So we're just going to copy it from there to MC test, and if we open it now, you can see the jars in there. Now, if I were to type in the command from the website now, so okay, I've restarted it, and there we go. It's running this time. You can see I've just typed in the command Java blah 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 blah, and the server's running, and it's starting to spawn the level. So I'm just going to edit again and pause a second and let it record while the map generates. Or rather, I should have said, hold on. Sorry, lemon bonbon in my mouth. Rather, I should have said pause recording while it finishes generating the map, which it's just done. So now the server is running, so if I connect to the IP of the netbook it's running on, let it spend another, sort of 20 minutes doing what it's doing, and here we are, and I'm now on the Linux server. Just to recap, you get the jar from Minecraft website, save it to a folder, then you go to that folder and do Java blah blah blah, the thing that's on the website. Now, of course, you don't want to do that every time. You don't want to be bringing up the terminal. You don't want to be messing about. So what we want to do is make a shell script which will do it all for you, and then you just run that and it does the job. Pardon me. So I'm going to call mine, basically this command you want, and bear with me here, is touch, and then the name of the file. So we're just going to call it startserver.sh. You can call it whatever you want, as long as it finishes .sh. Okay, once that's done, we need to make that shell file executable. So we'll do chmod +x startserver.sh, and that says make it executable, essentially. Now at the moment, of course, that's just an empty file, it's got nothing in. We need to tell it to run, what am I doing? To run this file. So I'm going to use whatever text editor you like to go into that file. I'm using Nano because I like my text editors to be sane. And basically all we want to do is tell it, go to that folder and then run the server. So we're going to type in cd, the name of the folder, which in my case is mctest. Nice and simple. Then we want to type in java -xmx 1024m, and I'm doing 512 for xms. Basically that you're setting the maximum size and minimum size amount of memory it's going to use. So if you set those differently, it will use, for example there, 512 megabytes by default, but use up to a gig if it needs it. Minecraft, what am I doing? Minecraft server.jar, no GUI. And then if I save that, wrong button. Yes, I want to call it that, exit. So now if we can see that the start server file contains what I've just typed in, and if we type in start server blah blah, it will run the server for us. And if you're going through the Linux GUI now, you can just double click on that icon and it will run the file. And for some reason it's preparing the spawn area again. I think that for whatever reason my netbook's running a lot slower than it was a couple of nights ago, don't know why, but anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. That's how you do that. And next I'm going to cover for all operating systems how to do all the configuration bits. So yeah. Okay, so you've got your Minecraft server set up on whatever operating system you're using, but now obviously there's more to it. You've got it, you can run it, you can connect to it, but what else? Now what I'm going to do is take you through the configuration of the server. This is the same for all operating systems, so you know it's the same files. You just edit them in a text editor. So whatever you've got on that operating system, that's what you use. The main things we're going to be looking at here are the ops.txt, server properties, and whitelist.txt. And what these do, might just look on band text, but you can probably guess where they're going. Basically, the first two the easiest ones are ops.txt and whitelist.txt. And what they do is they set what players can come into your server and what they can do. Basically, if you put someone in ops.txt like AA would, so that's me. Well, actually, let me just quickly show you what happens if you don't. So if I run the server now, right. So if I connect to localhost. We're in the Minecraft server, the one we've just started running. We saw this, did we see this before? I think we did, didn't we? And it was running very slowly, but that was to be expected. Yeah, here we go. So if I try and get rid of a bit of sand here, spawn, it will let me. It shouldn't let me. There's generally spawn protection, which stops players from doing that. Intriguing. But maybe it's because I haven't turned the whitelist on. So at the moment, by default, any player can connect and do whatever they want. So if I disconnect for now and we stop this, by the way, you can do server commands by just typing into the bottom bit on there, or if you're running on another system on a terminal, just type it in straight into the window as it's running. So yeah, now if we go into server properties, which I'll just make a bit bigger so you can read it, got all these bits in. Now, most basically, level name is the name of the world, so by default it's just world. If you want to create other levels, you can just, you can just rename that to something else. So, new world, and the game will generate a whole new map based on that, and you can actually put in a seed here as well if you want, just a standard Minecraft set of random characters. One thing I would say is if you're interested in doing that, one nifty trick, if you put a hash at the start of an existing line, it says to ignore it, so then you can put in level name new world, and the server will run and create new world map, and it'll put a folder in there, new world, with all the map stuff. But if you ever want to go back, you can just delete that, put that in, and presto, you're back in this one. Don't know what would happen if you left the level seed of the new world in there and went back to the old world, but we won't worry about that. That's a trick you can use for any of these. If you think you might want to go back and forth, rather you can just hash out the command, type in a new one, and then just leave one unhashed to switch back and forth. Allow never obviously is whether there's the never world. View distance by default 10. I think it used to be 12. You can increase that or decrease it. Decreasing it makes it a bit lighter on the server, makes it a bit easier, run a bit smoother. Making it bigger looks all nicer. Spawn monsters obviously are their monsters. If you turn it off, it's set that to false. That's roughly equivalent to peaceful mode. I'm not sure if there's healing. Online mode, you're going to leave that as true. If you're not doing it online mode, don't bother with the server. Spawn animals again, it's just are they pigs, are they cows, those sheeps? Sheep, again, just true or false to whatever you want. Max players, how many people can connect at once? I would set that realistically for how many people you're actually expecting. So if it's just you and 4 or 5 of your mates, set it to 8 or 10. You can always change it, you can always set it up higher or lower. Server IP. Now this is your external server IP. So this is basically where you are on the internet, unless you're working over a network, but we'll forget that. If you're doing a LAN party, you probably already know about all this stuff. PvP, true or false, can players attack each other, can they cause harm? Probably going to want that as true. It's up to you really, it depends what kind of server you're running. Level seed, as I said, just a set level so you can use to generate the level. Server port, now the default Minecraft port is 25565, but I mean if you want it to be a bit more secure, or if you're running more than one server, you want each server to have their own port. I'll go into ports a bit later on. Allow flight, true or false. I haven't played with this, but obviously there is a flight mode. You've seen it in some Minecraft videos, so I don't know if there's a particular command you have to do to activate it or not, but this is whether it's allowed. And whitelist, which we are going to turn to true. False just acts the way I showed you, anyone can connect. We don't really want that. You probably don't want that. So we're going to set that true. And if we save that now, run the server again, I can close that. What I will probably find now is when I try to connect, perhaps server is already running on that port. Did it not shut down properly? Hold on, bear with me. Okay, well that's strange. That whole bit about checking the IP address, no, don't do that, causes it to bug out. So we are back on 25565, it is running fine, just leave server IP blank, don't know why it's there because apparently it's broken. Anyway, so that's how to set up the server properties. Now, as I said, we've set whitelist to true, so now, if I run Minecraft again, and you'll have to excuse me because I'm going to have to log in again. Alright, right, okay, Minecraft localhost connect. You are not whitelisted, see, can't connect. Bad stuff, so we will stop the server. I don't actually know if you need to stop the server to change whitelist and ops, but I'm going to assume we do. So, whitelist.txt, blank text file, all we do is add my name here, and I'm whitelisted. And if you had different people, you'd just put them all on a separate line like that. I don't know why that one's called dfriend2, but I'm leaving it. I'm happy, that's fine. So if I run it now, restart the server, yep, I must tell that to stop asking. So let that start. Yep, there we go, and reconnect, and it'll go, yes, yes, you're whitelisted, come on in. Welcome, would you like some canapes, perhaps some Ferrero Rocher? Ooh. Oh, my neck just cracked a lot. Right, here we go. Blimey, lots of creepers on this level. Again, as I usually do on these videos, apologies for performance. It's because I'm recording the entire screen and running a server and playing the game at the same time. But yes, so now I can dig. I can do things. Ooh. Wait, I could do that before. I shouldn't be able to. That's the point. What's going on here? This is crazy. Have they got rid of spawn protection? I'm sure they had it, but I can't do much else. So if I do, for example, time set 1,000, it's not letting me do it. Oh, it says I tried command. Actually, has it done it? Time set 16. Where's the sun? Where can it? Sun is right overhead. Time. Oops. Time set 0. No, so I can't set the time. That's set. Nothing can be done about it because I'm just whitelisted, so I can get in now. But I can't do special commands. But I'm the admin. I should be able to do special commands. It's not right. I have had enough. So, stop the server again. And this time what I'm going to do is add my name into ops.txt. Ooh. Now, you only really want to put yourself and people you really trust in here. People are going to beg you to have access to be able to do funky stuff, but you don't want to give it them. Just put yourself in here and, you know, maybe mods if they're assigned if you're doing a bigger server. So now, if we run the server one more time, let it do its thing. Yeah, and then connect. So now I'm not just whitelisted. It's not just that I can access it. I am a god. So we'll do time set 16. Oh, it's night time. Oh, yes. Oh, that's the time set 0. Oops. It's morning. Good morning, America. That's a TV show in America, by the way. You know, and then I can give me, so AA would 10 of 20, and oh look, I've got okay, that's how you get lava. Kind of. I probably shouldn't have shown you that. Well, there's the command. If you've got give, don't use it. I'm just going to quit now, I think. But yeah, so there you go. That's how to set up these files. Server properties, before you get going, to set level, world, and basic server settings like whether monsters are in and what port to work it on. Make sure to put whitelist to true. Whitelist.txt to say who can get in. So in this case, these 3 people could get onto my server and no one else could. And ops.txt to say who's an admin, who's in charge, who gets all the funky commands, and it's just me. So there you are. Okay, now finally I said I'd touch on ports. Basically, although you can connect out to the internet, most of you will probably be connected to the internet for a router, and that limits what can come in from the internet. Generally things, you know, obviously web pages can be sent to your computer, emails will come through, messaging services. That's usually all set up by default, but it won't let most things through. Basically it blocks the ports, as it's called. So for a Minecraft server, though you as a player might be able to connect to other Minecraft servers, you might not be able to have them connect to you until you open the ports. Now, on my router, this is all the setup page for my router. Yours will vary. It'll vary on what IP address you have to put into your web browser to connect to it. Mine's on 192.168.1.1, but yours might be 0.1 or 1.100 or lots of different things. And exactly what section and in your, you know, what your router you have to go to set them up will be different. Now, if you remember before you set up an IP, when you were configuring it, you set a port. Now, the default port for Minecraft servers is 25565. And if you look here on mine, this is my advanced port forwarding section, which is what you want. It might be called something slightly different. what you'll be wanting to do is make sure you've got your local IP address. That's not your outside IP address this time, as it was last time. It's actually your personal IP address. Now, how to find that out will vary depending on your operating system. But if I just quickly on mine bring up, no, not that. I want status, viewed status of this connection, and I can see my internal IP address. If I go to details, is 192.168.1.10. So if I'm on here, my Minecraft servers are actually on my netbook, which is 192.168.1.20. So then you say what your public port is. I actually run 2 servers on my netbook, so there's 2 ports. And you want it to set, but if you just run one on default 255.65, you want 255.65 in there, and if it's to and from, then you want that in both. And then the IP address of the computer it's going to, which will be your internal one, which will probably, might be 1.1, might be 1.10, whatever. And then the private port, which you want the same. And that number there is whatever you've set in your configuration file as the port for your server. So yeah, and then once that's done, your router will probably restart, and then any connections from the internet that go to that port number will be sent to that computer internally, and won't be blocked, and will actually get through, and people will be able to connect to your server. So there you go. Right, that's everything I've got to show, I guess. I hope it's been useful for you. Good luck, enjoy your new Minecraft server. Bye!